We'll look at the Excel sheet later. We'll look at the numbers later. Dave said, I binged Spider-Man this week. It's this year's X-Men 97 beyond all expectations. To Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
You know, I'm going to talk about that. I'll catch up with the comments later. I want to start rolling because we're already over 15 minutes in. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I finished it today, and I think it came out Tuesday. But like I said, my schedule was all thrown off. I finished it today, and man, that's a good show. That was a good show. You can see here my notes on it. You guys commented on there as well. You know, my fear with this show is it's not going to get the eyes it deserves. You know, unlike X-Men 97, which you referenced, Dave, you know, I think going into X-Men 97, knowing it was a continuation of the OG show, more people were inclined to check it out because they were like, oh, that's like the old show. Even though when you watched it, there were very little connections to the OG show in it other than like the intro. So people were like, more casuals were inclined to watch it. This one has no connection to the OG animated series. What I think happened with this show is it's a miss because of the animation. I think as I'm talking this through with you guys, as I thought about it over the last couple hours, I think the miss with this show is the animation. And I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I think the animation style for a lot of people, especially the casual viewer who probably watched X-Men 97 because they're just like, oh, I heard there's a continuation, whatever. I think those people saw this trailer and immediately thought this was like a kiddie cartoon. Between this uniform, the animation style, even, to be honest, even like the race and gender swaps and stuff, people probably saw it and were just like, this is going to be, again, I hate using the phrase, it's going to be like some woke kiddie cartoon Spider-Man show. And I think a lot of that is tied to the animation. And it's not. It is not at all. First 2 episodes were okay. I gave it some bonus points because it had a premise or promise. The final scene of the second episode set me up to know that like not a lot of things in this cartoon were going to be original ideas. And I talked about that before on this show. But as the show went on, it started to like kind of stand out on its own. I started to disconnect it from the animated series, Spider-Verse, everything else Spider-Man that we've come to know and love. I also started to have it stand alone in my head, you know, from Disney. You know, like there's Disney animation has had this stain on it for so long. MCU has had a stain on it for so long. And as this show went on, and as they established the world, established the characters, every character was getting an origin story. And it didn't feel overwhelming. I really started to like the show. Really did. A complaint I didn't list here, because like I said, I mentioned complaints here out of, you know, I mentioned complaints just because I feel like if you're going to review something, you have to point out negatives, not because there were a lot of them. But, you know, I felt like they almost had too many cameos in the show because you set up some characters without it being like an open close story. Like characters came in and left. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to try my best not to spoil even things that were in the trailer that are spoilers. But you know, when you think about the OG cartoons, right? And this is something we've talked about also on the show. When you think about the OG cartoons that we used to know and love, you didn't have a storyline that was like started in episode 1, went to the end of the season, or started episode 1, went throughout the course of the show. Every episode was its own standalone thing. When you had cameos in those cartoons and in those shows, the cameos were a vital part to the story. Now, in the Spider-Man animated series cartoon, you did have story arcs, right? You had the story arc where he was losing his powers, which then turned into the arc of him turning into the Man Spider. You had the Spider Wars arc. You had all sorts of things that were happening. The Clone Wars arc with Hydro Man. So you had those arcs happening, but there was still the episodic feel to the show. With this cartoon, I feel like it could have used that because there was like a slight overall story, but because they were sticking to that idea, when you had a cameo, the cameo was like short, sweet, boom, versus the cameo was in like the whole episode and there was interactions. You know, think to when, I don't remember what arc that was, but we had Blade introduced into the original cartoon animated series. Like Blade was in the whole episode, interacting with Spider-Man. Why are you here? What do you do? What's your backstory? Oh, you're going after Morbius. So am I. Yeah, you had all that being flushed out. Here, you didn't have that. Here, for example, he doesn't show up in the show, so this is not a spoiler. I'm using Blade as an example. Here, like Blade would show up, like on the motorcycle, do something to affect the story, and then was out. And it's like, wait, where's Blade? I need more Blade. You know, so that's a nitpick. A nitpick that's not on this list that I'm thinking about as I'm looking at this picture is I wish there was more of this, him in his own homemade suit. It was very short-lived in the show, and I like this suit because the suit feels very homemade. In the intro to the show, you see different iterations of his homemade costume. But this one, I think this costume, I said this, I think 2 weeks ago, I think this costume will be a hit at Comic-Con because it's going to be easy to make. Super easy to make. So please, if you get a chance, watch the show. I took a bunch of screenshots today of people's thumbnails where they were just like judging the show based on the trailers. Oh, it's going to be woke. Everything's gay. Blah, 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 blah. I took screenshots of them. I was going to do a whole thing on it, and I just left it alone because I don't want to give them any clout. They were all wrong. Every single one of them was wrong. And that's my message to everybody. Anytime you watch these like toxic creators that everything's woke, everything's liberal, everything's blah, 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 and the thing is not even out yet, just ignore it. I'm telling you, ignore it. Because it is just bullshit. It is all bullshit. All of it. All of it. And this show, to me, is like the nail in the coffin on that concept. There's been other ones in the past. The one that always comes to mind, not Rings of Power, House of Dragon. They're the whatever houses, they're all black now and they have blonde hair. It's so stupid. Everything's woke. That season 1 was amazing. And they all shut up. They all shut up. So don't watch that filth, is what I'm saying to all of you here today. Let me try to catch up on the chat. I know I've probably fallen way behind here. It was wonderful. Tony in the house. Good to see you. I show for Marvel Legends. Bankalek says, I'm starting a YouTube beef with T3. I'm expecting people to ask me about Barbie Corvettes. I love that. Speaking of Devil, Legacy in the house. I'm going to answer your DM. I'm going to give you that one. I will give you that one. Legacy did a spoiler to the cartoon. And Legacy knows we don't really ever talk about our DMs out loud. I don't think anybody ever talks about their DMs with somebody else out loud. But Legacy will tell you, I get at him every time he posts a spoiler about something to be like, you didn't wait X amount of time. And he's right. he waited 36 hours before he posted a spoiler about this cartoon. And it's one of those where like you have to really think about it to get the spoiler. So I give you credit for that too. But like Daniel knows, I always get at him. I'm like, oh, bro, come on. Even if it doesn't affect me. There was, what was it? The Superman and Lois, like that one scene, like in the last episode. And I was like, why did you share that? And you made a good point. Everybody was sharing it. But Daniel knows I'm going to be in that DM pause every single time. And I love you for it. You enjoyed the voice actor performances and laughed a lot at the moments. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody know which aisle the metal bendy wire is located, either Lowe's or Home Depot? Because I need to use them as barbed wire for my homemade accessories for WWE figures. Look in the flower or decorative section. Like on my desk here, I have some bendy wire. Actually, I have two. I had them out here for the video I never released on how to make your own spider webs. Speaking of Spider-Man, and these are used for floral arrangements. So it's probably going to be in the floral section where they have like the fake flowers. My guess. Sin in the house. First time, I believe. Good to see you, Sin. We're friends all since day one. Me and Original Sin. There you go. This design seemed whack to me. Do you mean the cartoon? Captain America Brave New World, 7 out of 10, seen it twice, and my review stays the same. Some reason I thought you gave it an 8. But like I said, I think it's just most of the reviews I've seen, they're 8s, so I probably just looped you into that. Coleman Domingo gets my vote for MCU Norman Osborn. There I said it. And yes, the animation is why I held off on it. Yeah. The outfit is garbage. Let me bring it back up. I disagree. I can see why. But to me, looking at this is when was it? When the first 2 episodes dropped, we talked about it here on the show. And this outfit to me is the current version of what Tobey Maguire had in the first movie. A suit that like very well you can go to Walmart and buy all these pieces and make a suit. You know, the only thing in question is like the mask, which even in Tobey Maguire one, the mask was like kind of, where would you find that? But this suit very much looks like something you can just put together at Target. You know, that's what I like about it. That's the charm I like about it. But of the homemade suits, I don't know if it's the best homemade suit. I think the Toby one, because that's our day one, you know. Who was it that hated this one? Oh, Sal also didn't like this suit. Sal was not a fan. Actually, Sal's not a fan of the homemade suit in general. He gets the concept, but he's not a fan. And I can see why. I don't disagree with that concept, you know. It's like good. Everybody saying hi to each other. Love that. This animation favored What If to me. Yeah, for sure. And I think What If has been so bad that anything even close to that, people are just like, nah, I'm out. Just like when we were getting that Teen Titans Go style animation on everything, people are like, I'm out. I don't care. Thundercats Go, I'm not even going to try. So I get it. I had a similar reaction to CW shows. For a long time, I couldn't watch a CW show because of the whatever camera setup they had on CW shows, because of shows I hated. I was like, I'm not going to give any of them a try. Like 0. So I get it. I'm going to binge Spidey tomorrow. Nice. Outfit is garbage. They did a good job. Oh, if the outfit is garbage, they did a good job. Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about this animated new Spider-Man series was the opening of the show. Yeah. Opening of the show music. Yeah, I was skipping the music. I was skipping the intros on it. And then two episodes ago, I realized at the end of the theme song, they show like a comic book cover and every episode's different. And I was like, fuck. I kept missing that. So, yeah. I love when Batman showed up with Scooby-Doo. Oops, spoiler. Rolando in the house. Good to see you. Everybody saying hi to Rolando. Where's the part where Kevin Hart saved Aunt May? Yeah, definitely. Blade was, I'm so far behind on the comments. Sorry. Blade was a part of the OG Neogenic Nightmare with Michael Morbius in the animated series. Yeah. Yeah. The Rambling Nerd Anthony in the house. Good to see you. Yeah. I thought that was going to be today. I figured today was going to be a Spider-Man reveal. And I was hoping it would be the animated series. Some people speculated Fantastic Four. But I was like, for Marvel Legends, the live stream today, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man figures. They were Spider-Man figures from the freaking Spider-Man 2 video game. Came out, what, 2 years ago at this point? Whatever. Legacy of Nerd. I can't lie. Stop following you from the spoilers. They did share it. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Yeah. Spider-Man, the Canadian American animated series from 1967 to 1970, super dope. It was good. That was good. That was good. I liked the white and blue suit he rocked. I like the theme song. There you go. There you go. So yeah, check out Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's a good one. It is a good one. For sure. For sure. Okay.